episode 303 of Global from Asia, staying calm in a post-coronavirus world, talking about transformation, and I transformed. We'll talk about that at the end.
Welcome to the Global from Asia podcast, where the daunting process of running an international business is broken down into straight-up, actionable advice. And now, your host, Michael Michelini.
Thank you so much for listening. I don't like to, content marketing is pushing, but, my amazing wife, Wendy's always like, we work so hard making this podcast, we gotta share it, we gotta get it out there, and she pushes in all of our various WeChat groups and moments on WeChat. I mean, she's in China. She doesn't really even. I don't even think she has a magic VPN or something to get into Facebook. So she's 3. And I sometimes feel embarrassed because it's we have a lot of content. We're just boom, 3, 4, 5 posts in our little group. And but Andre is in New Zealand. Andre is awesome, supporter of the community. He's like, oh, thanks. He's listening to the Hugh Bell show last week, and he's got some ideas about the APEC card and 60 days. When he can enter into China without having to apply for visa. So he got that tidbit right away. So, I should be less, quote unquote, shy. And I'm starting to transform. Today's show is about transformation. So I need to stop asking for permission and stop being like Chris Davey, also FBA for You, supporter and friend and community, doing amazing things. Has also always said I don't toot my own horn enough. And, I think limiting beliefs, maybe he didn't say that, but it's maybe me or others, limiting myself. So I think all of us need to use this horrible nightmare pandemic to, we're stuck at home, stuck away from our loved ones and maybe some unloved ones or other things, maybe people we don't want to be with. But wherever we are, we're stuck. A lot of us are stuck right now. So it's a good time to really think about your life, your business. So we're gonna have a little bit quote unquote woo-woo topic today. Qing is great. I've known her originally as QY, but she's also transformed herself. She was in Amazon for many years. Some of you might have met her at events in Hong Kong or Shenzhen in South China in previous years, but she made a whole transformation and doing what she loves, transforming people. She transformed herself. She's going to share about how we can maybe take an opportunity now where maybe our businesses might not be out working as well as we wanted, or our life might not be what we wanted, and to take that to propel ourselves to change. And after this podcast interview, she's like, Mike, you sound really, not happy, or you sound really tired or not satisfied. Maybe we can talk some more? And we talked for another hour. This show was like an hour, so it was like a 2-hour call total, 1-hour interview today. So hopefully you guys like it. I mean, she gives a lot of value, and then, she sold me, or she got me into her program. So we had even just a few days after the podcast interview, before the show goes online, we did a 2-hour session, all on Zoom, which I guess with the privacy concerns of Zoom, maybe other people could tune into that, but I'm going to share what she made for me after the show. It made me really emotional. I cried, man. I'm a man. I'm not afraid to say I cried, and when I listened to that. So if you want to hear, that'll be after the blah, blah, blah. I was also on BBC again for a third time, just like a 2 or 3 minute clip. That'll be in the blah, blah, blah. So basically today's show is going to be, of course, her amazing session where she shares about mindfulness, mindset, taking care of yourself and those around you, giving more gratitude, maybe changing your business, maybe Amazon, or maybe you're trading, or maybe whatever you're doing right now is not what you really like to do. And maybe this is a great time to change. After that, I'll do my outro, blah, 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 a little bit. I'll put that clip of the third BBC session in there, and then I'll put her 13-minute audio to me, which I don't know if I guess she's cool with it. I mean, I guess I bought it. I paid her, she has a decent rate, price, for her services, and so that was part of the package I bought. So I think, why not share it with everybody? I don't know, if it might not be weird to you to hear that, but that's at the very end. So you can just skip it after getting her amazing, valuable interview, which is happening right now. CrossBorderSummit.com. We've been talking about this since last November. We're bringing it to Thailand. And I have to say, at this point, I'm researching running an online summit. What do you guys think? We still got plenty of time. We got speakers on hold, of course, and attendees just can't wait to go, but we might make CrossBorderSummit.com online. It wasn't going to be until November anyway. It will be our 5th annual. Still thinking about that. But actually, there's a lot of things happening. I'm talking to a lot of people, so we don't know what's going to happen at this point, but potentially it'll be online, or we'll try to have some more online element to it. CrossBorderSummit.com. Save the date. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another Global from Asia podcast. And we have one, actually, I think we had been talking about this for at least in some form or fashion to get you on the show. Qing Zhou from Divine Wealth School. Thanks for coming on, Qing.
Thank you for the opportunity, Mike. Like, I've known you for quite a few years now, right?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, we met when we were both in the Hong Kong scene, or I was technically on the Shenzhen side, but in Hong Kong often, and it's been great to for both of us as we've grown and faced many different. I guess today's show is like transitions ourselves and growth, personal growth. It's been great to watch you doing what you love to do, and I'm excited for today's episode on sharing that. Maybe hopefully some listeners will get some inspiration, and maybe today could be their what would you call it, moment of awakening.
Yeah, awakening or just uncovering the blind spot. So I met like just a quick self intro. So I met Mike when probably 2016. I'd say.
Yeah, I think about
like when
that.
like around then I was doing Amazon, and but at that time I was living in Hong Kong. I was like, sourcing was very easy for me. I think I got my first product. My first idea of a product, because my colleague at the time, Chris, like he was mentioning about Amazon, I was like, my ears got perked up. I was like, okay, side income, let's do it, right? So I think I was listening to Brian Moran's podcast, like on the way to work and commute, and then literally from the idea to the first product being in Amazon, making my first 10 grand was like sales was like took like 2 months. It was like really fast. And then from then on, like I think I spent maybe next 18 months, 2 years doing Amazon, but it was never really my thing. It was like cash flow was like quite challenging, like managing cash flow and all of these things, even though I invested in all these strategy, mentors, tactics, all this stuff. And now knowing what I know, because since then I've gone on, I guess, this spiritual or personal growth journey, and I've now know so much what are the limiting blocks that blocked me or like entrepreneurs out there. So whether they are, you are at 6 figures or even 7 figures sales a year, or even 8 figures a year, like there are probably challenges around, cash flow or around mindset. And I wanted to kind of come on the show and share that with people today, especially in light of COVID, because it could seem like, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear around here, but like beat me out.
That word's maybe okay, but there's some their kids listen to the show.
So let's say like, chaos is hitting the fan and everything seems so impossible in those crazy times of uncertainty. Like, what do we do? What's the number one thing entrepreneurs got to do to sail through it? Do you just throw in the towel? Do you pivot? What do you do? Who do you listen to? Like those kind of things. So that's my intention and Mike's intention for the episode today.
Yeah, thanks for helping me out explaining what we're talking about today. It's awesome.
All good.
And so you're in Australia now, right?
Right now I'm in Taiwan, so my family's in Australia. Like I kind of go between Taiwan and Australia a fair bit, just like the weather, because I just want to avoid winter.
Oh, that's a smart one. I'm freezing right now in North China, so I wish we followed the same with the family here, but
yeah, it's kind of like design the life you want. So it's about like just like intention and designing. So yeah, so it's I'm in Taiwan right now, and the government's actually pretty good in terms of rationing masks, and there's no panic. People can still go out, but obviously you wear your mask and just take precaution, things like that.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good to hear. And so let's. I'm trying to think how to start, but of course there's this COVID stuff. But maybe even before that, I'd like to hear yours if you're open to share your journey. Like you said, you were an Amazon seller and you were listening to podcasts, going to the meetups. I appreciate you also came to some of our events, cross-border events, which is awesome. But I guess there was some time you decided, do you want to share your own
Sure. So
story?
I don't know if your listeners can relate because actually they may be able to because I think a couple of weeks ago somebody in DC, Dynamite Circle, we met at that event. I think
Yeah.
you were at DCBKK, right?
Yeah.
2016.
Yeah, we met
So
there too.
I was there. I met some like really cool people out there, and one of the guys I met at that event, like we haven't kept in touch, but we're on Facebook connected. Like he reached out to me and he goes, you seem to be doing some really cool stuff. Like, because I always post about gratitude or mindset in different Facebook groups, just in spirit of sharing. So he reached out. We had a talk, and it is not something I expected from him or somebody like in their 30s or 40s running a successful multi 6 or 7 figure business, right? But what we chatted about was like where your business hits a certain level somehow, like the money is coming in, especially DC people, a lot of them are like successful, cash flow, I'm all good, like after a few years of I guess figuring things out, they got a system and things in place, but somehow things feel a bit empty, like inside. And we've been chasing for all these goals or dreams, like we accomplished these milestones after milestones. It's like, yep, now you've got a team, now you've got cash flow coming in, passive income, you got all that set up. So then what's next, right? So we had that chat, and what I realized is more and more people are I guess waking up to that. For me, it was the same. I think at the end of 2016, I was leaving Hong Kong because I wanted just time out of that small apartment. I wanted to kind of explore the world. So I started with Australia, but somebody sent me a PDF brochure going, oh, there's this spiritual workshop. Do you want to go check it out? And I'm a very logical person. Like my background was in investment banking. I sold like $500 million of like equity before I was 26. So it's a very logical, rational, like go, hustle kind of person, right? So, but that moment was a different thing where I just trusted my gut because I was looking at that PDF picture of that teacher. I was like, logically, it doesn't make sense. I had 2 weeks left in Hong Kong. I had my whole apartment of stuff to get rid of, 9 years worth of possessions. I don't have time for this. This was like a 5-day workshop. But I looked at that guy's picture. I was like, I need to be there. So at that workshop, like something opened up for me. Like it's called DNA activation, but you can call it like a soul awakening, where I truly remember what was my purpose. Like I think even since 2011, I wanted to be like a motivational speaker or a transformational coach. Like I wanted to help people like live their most alive version, whereby we're not bound or controlled or impacted by the external circumstances. Like the perfect example of which is COVID right now. How do we feel powerful? How do we feel unstoppable self-belief, even in the light of the greatest possible recession since the 1920s or 30s, right? Like how do we feel that level of power and certainty without fear, without, shaking? Because before that, when I was in Amazon, even when I was in this successful corporate job, even though on the outside I had it all, on the inside I was shaking. At night I couldn't, some nights I'm like, do I really have what it takes? Like the self-doubt, the self-worth. And there is so much of that I wanted to share on this today, because everything externally, Mike, in our business, whether it is your cash flow, your sales, your supplier, being a nasty, SOB, like whatever, like all of these things, right? Like I'm sure like in supply chain, or if you e-com seller, you can relate to that. All of these things, you can go, okay, it's that guy. It's because of COVID. It is because Amazon's like, very challenging, difficult fee policies that I've got nothing in my bank account at the end of, even though, you might make 6 figures or 7-figure sales every month, at the end of the year or at the end of the quarter, you're like, wait, where's all my money gone, right? Like I can tell you that is because there is something inside of your subconscious beliefs or your mindset that is actually calling those things forward, calling those situations, calling those COVID, situations. So once you can change, once you get to the bottom of see it like a computer program, right? Like we are all, powerful bio machines. We have those beliefs installed into us about, maybe you could go, it's always a struggle for me to make money, right? If you inherited that from your parents, that could be one, right? So when we have those beliefs, when we have those things, they run us. They run out how we behave. They run our, energy frequency. And then what happens is, because everything is energy, everything is frequency, then we will attract the circumstances that exactly confirms and corroborates with those beliefs. So I've just given you a whole dump of information, Mike. So.
Yeah, there's so much. I mean, I'm taking some notes, and I'm thinking where we can dig into each of these.
Sure.
So I'm thinking here, how to feel power when you don't have certainty, or with uncertainty.
Sure. I think the first thing to really understand, the first thing, if you were to ask me what is the one thing, right? The one takeaway I want people to get from this episode is self-awareness. And there's two levels to it. Okay, so I want to give as much value as possible, so I'm going to give you guys a lot of information. I hope you guys keep up.
Awesome.
So
sure.
There's two parts to it. The first thing is the mindset. Okay, I know it's a very cliched word now. Like every entrepreneur podcast talks about mindset, but what am I really talking about is the mind has two parts to it. There's the conscious mind, which is, if you imagine an iceberg, okay, perked up above the seawater, you can see a tip of it. That is the conscious mind. But beneath the water, right, is, I would say 99% is the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind takes in everything. It's almost like a DVD recorder that is always recording everything that has happened in your life from the moment you were born until probably the age of 7 or 8. You just take it in. And what then happens is, if something happened between the age of 0 to 7 in your life, where somebody told you, you're not worthy, or you're stupid, or life is a challenge, or money is always a struggle to make, what happens is, we as a child, we don't know how to distinguish what's the right thing to take in, what's not the right thing. So what then happens is, our subconscious mind takes that in and say that is the truth. And that, if you imagine, it's like a Windows system or a Mac operating system. It's installed in our deep psyche, and it actually governs how we operate out of everything. Your decisions, your sense of, powerlessness, it's like it's in our body. Okay, let me give you some examples. You might go, okay, this sounds so woo-woo, like give me an example, right? I'll give you an example. If you have a belief, and I don't know, Mikey, if you can resonate with that, like if you have a belief that money is difficult to make, like life is a battle, it's always a struggle, you have to hustle through that. And I've worked with many clients like all over the world, right? Men, women, we all have these beliefs. It didn't come from us. It came from our parents or even our grandparents. Because I was born in China, and like growing up was a freaking struggle. Like, working class, had to make money. I was constantly conditioned. Money is a struggle to make. Money doesn't grow on trees. It's tough, right? So then what happens is, I had that belief, or people had that belief. And then what happens is, you behave in your business like that. And then what would happen is, you might have a situation where your sales gets to, let's say 6 or 7 figures a month, but then the money comes in and it leaves your business as quickly as it comes in. Like you may even grow your business, you expand new product lines, new brands, and like you do some launches or get like great reviews. Back in the old days, at least, I understand people can get great reviews, right? And then you get all these traction. Maybe you get to 20, 30, 50 units a day. You're like, boom, yes, I got cash coming in, right? And then for some reason, the money at the end of the month or at the end of the quarter, you're like, I pay my supplier, I pay Amazon, I pay PPC, I pay all these things. Where's my share of the money? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and if that happens, that's probably because you have some terrible, blocks in your subconscious beliefs around money, around, wealth, that kind of thing. So that's why, like, having that self-awareness, like it's almost like opening up that blind spot, knowing what is in your programming that is driving your subconscious belief, that is driving your behavior, that is driving the situations that's now coming up, is the number one thing that's most important.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, well, I think also people are just, like you said, they're just doing something because that's what maybe they heard somebody else is doing in their network that's making money, so they do it. But then, like, especially as an Amazon seller or e-commerce seller, a lot of times you feel like you're paying all these fees, right? You're buying the stock, you're paying Amazon, you're paying this guy, you're paying that guy, and then it's true. I think a lot of people realize maybe their bottom line isn't what they thought it would be or it should be. So that's really at the core. You would say like subconscious. Maybe they're just working just doing something for the action of doing it.
Yeah, okay. So that's a really, really great question. I'm very glad you brought it up, Mike. Like, I think the number one thing, especially right now, because even when I was doing Amazon, I felt so overwhelmed by the amount of information, right? Like, I bought 2 or 3 different coaching programs from people, like multi 4-figure program. It wasn't cheap, right? But for some reason, I just like, it was just like I felt overwhelmed from all these strategies and tactics and all these things. Because I tell you why, Mike, it doesn't work for a lot of people. It might work for some. You might go, why does it not work for me? Like, what's wrong with me, right? The reason why is the strategy and the tactics is only like 5% of what's really important. If the 95% of it is your beliefs around yourself or around money, or like around whatever, like 95% of it is your beliefs. Because once you align your beliefs, once you know what is the programming that has been running your life, right? What is the programming that's been running your life? What you do is you just pull that out and reprogram yourself. Because when you reprogram yourself for, I have these beliefs, I know I've got what it takes. And this is way more than just some like, positive affirmation or meditation. Like, it needs to be a bit more than that. Because what happens is once you pull those out, once you actually install those new beliefs, what happens is your mind will actually, your subconscious mind is so powerful that it's going to get to work even when you're sleeping. Even when you're sleeping, right? When your subconscious mind will go to work to go, okay, let's say Mike knows he's worthy of like this 7 or 8-figure platform. I forgot the name of the platform you're trying to build. What was it called again?
Lowpipe.com, yeah.
Yeah, like, so let's say, Mike, you've got this belief, okay, I am absolutely worthy. I know in my body, in my subconscious, that this thing is going to go off the roof, go through the roof, multi 7, 8 figures, right? What happens is even during your sleep, your subconscious mind is going to go to work to go and think, okay, what are the things I can do? And then what happens is sometimes when you wake up, or sometimes when you go for a walk, or sometimes, you're doing some, push-ups or weight lifting and things like that, like ideas will come. Create those, what you call like sparks of creativity. I'm sure we've all had those when we are in flow, right? But the challenge is when we have like a muddled up belief system that's running our mind, you can call it monkey mind. Yeah, right? You go on Facebook, you go onto Facebook, you go onto all these different groups. This guru is saying this strategy. That guru is saying that tactic. Which one do I even follow, right? So when our mind is so busy, we don't have that clarity. We can't hear like the creativity sparks from within us. Because when you have that level of self-awareness, when you were talking about the power comes from the clarity, Mike. When we are no longer, like when we're impervious to all the noises out there, we are actually hearing and in tuning with ourselves, with your inner, I guess you can call it inner guru or universe or whoever you want to believe, right? Like when you can hear that inner voice, it's that feeling in your gut where you're like, yes, this is it, right? Because our body gives clues. And that was the second part of what I wanted to talk about. So before I ramble on,
good.
I get so excited. I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah, I know. I think we can all feel that. It's great. So body gives us clues in the monkey mind.
Yeah. So you were talking about, so there's 2 parts to it, right? You were talking about, okay, how do I reprogram my mind? How do I even know like what's my belief, right? One exercise people can do is like really take a moment, like turn off, distractions, Facebook, music, whatever, just for a moment in silence, if you can. Sit down and write out those, let's say there's a particular area in your life you want to work on. Let's say it's about the business right now. Write out like instances or incidents that have a very similar pattern. Okay. So let's say like, okay, I just got, like my sales went through the roof. Like if you've experienced things that I used to experience, which is like you go boom, bust income cycle. Like sales happen, great. I get some cash goes out. And then, sales happen, great. Sales happen. I'm now at the next level. I'm increasing my spending. I'm hiring more. I want to scale. But then somehow, boom, it crashed again, right? So if you have those things, just list out a list of those instances, whether it is in your business or in your personal life, where you get the breakthrough and then it stops. You get the breakthrough, the momentum somehow stops. And it always feels like something is tying you down. It is so frustrating. It is so infuriating. And inside you probably saying, I freaking am worthy. Like I am freaking capable, right? Why is it that I see other people who are less capable, who probably have a more terrible product than mine, who probably don't even care about their customers, but I care about my customers? Why is it that they make more money or they get more traction than me? It's so infuriating, right? If you feel that, if that resonates, like sit down, write out some instances and see if there is a pattern, right? See if there is a pattern. Maybe, like see if there is a pattern, and then what is the pattern? The pattern is the same thing happens over and over and over again until we stop looking externally for the tactic and look inside and go, whoa, what's the common thing here? The common thing is me. Okay, so it maybe one time it was a supplier screwed you. Maybe one time it's Amazon PPC screwed you. Maybe one time it's a launch failed and you had an inventory got stolen. Whatever it is, what is the common thing is the universe or this planet will keep on sending you the same pattern of situations. It's going to keep on prodding you on the head until you finally get it and wake up and go, okay, now let me look within. What is it about me? What is it that is inside of my psyche, my programming, that is kind of not in alignment for my highest version of me, which is for my level of wealth or abundance or success that I want, right? So that's what I want people to do. Like stop chasing, stop getting distracted by all these noise, and actually take the moment to take stock of what happened in your life or in your business, and then decide, oh, holy crap, I'm the person that's the commonality. Yeah.
Okay. So this is great. I've been taking some notes too, and so yeah, I'm thinking about the listener, I'm thinking about myself. So we're writing down all these instances of why we're not getting where we want to get or where we think we should be, and then we're looking at ourselves. Where's the steps? So say they have identified, okay, I'm doing the wrong thing, or this is not really for me. Maybe it's my friends, maybe it's helped me get where I am now. How does somebody get to start that transition? Is it like a rapid thing? Is it a gradual thing? Is it depending on
Sure.
On the situation?
So the way I look at it, the first thing is this, okay? I want to introduce you guys this concept of your emotional home. Okay, your emotional home. This is a very important concept, so write this down, guys, or girls. So emotional home, and the first concept I want to tell you is this, okay? So everything in the world, in the universe, is energy and frequency, okay? So I'm not a scientist, but you can look up any quote by Einstein. It is that. You might think I have a physical body, this table, this chair, my laptop, they're all physical, but everything is energy. It's just vibrating at such a fast rate that our eyeballs do not oscillate fast enough to see it. So why is that relevant? Your thoughts, right? Your thoughts are real. Your thoughts are not something that just kind of comes and goes. But what happens is your subconscious programming, the reason why your subconscious programming I was talking about that comes from your childhood experiences is so important is because they dictate what thoughts you have, okay? And your thoughts in turn dictate what your emotional home is. So let's take a moment, take stock, right? Guys who are listening, or even Mike, like I can profess when I was doing Amazon, or even like 3-4 years ago, my emotional home was pissed off. I wake up feeling like anxious and pissed off, nervous, going, how many sales do I have this month? Like the first thing I do is check my app or check my seller central account, right? Like how many sales should I? So where is your emotional home? There is something called the consciousness map, right? You guys can look it up. You can Google Omega consciousness. There is a scale, or like the highest scale is like enlightenment, but the next one down is joy. Okay, so the number for joy is about 650. So it's just like a numerical number they assign to it. But the lowest on the other spectrum of this emotional home you could be at is shame and guilt, which is literally only 20. Okay, so why is this relevant? What I'm saying is, if you wake up every day, just check within yourself, are you living in the emotional home of joy and gratitude? Are you grateful for electricity, for water? Maybe you have face masks at home, or maybe you're in quarantine, but it's like you got running water, you got electricity, you got food in your fridge. Are you grateful for that, or are you looking at what is wrong? Because when you are looking at what is wrong, you are living in the emotional home of like maybe anger or shame or guilt or fear, right? All of those are lower. If you look at that scale, the consciousness map, you will find that the lowest one I think is shame. It's 20. Okay. The next one up is guilt, which is 30. So if you feel like if you're a man who's providing for your family, if you feel guilt, oh my God, my business should be at this level, but I'm not. I'm such a failure. What's wrong with me? I'm not good enough, right? Like all of those worthiness things, they will keep you trapped in shame and guilt. And every day, the more and more you think of that, the more and more you live in that energy and frequency, the more and more you're going to attract the situations and the circumstances that agree with that emotional home and that belief.
Wow. Yeah, this is great.
So then the first thing people to do is take stock, like, where is my emotional home? Am I living in gratitude? Am I living in shame or fear? Right? So that's the first thing. But in terms of how you remove that, Mike, you were asking me, okay, does that take years or months? Can that happen very quickly? Yeah, it can happen very quickly. Like it took me 6-7 years to figure out, quote unquote, what is wrong with me, because I always lived in this like anger or nervousness or anxiety, even though on the outside people go, oh, Qing's got it all together, right? But it can happen very quickly. Like as soon as you figure out what is the subconscious belief, the program that's been running you, remove it. It literally takes maybe 2-3 weeks. That's what I do with my clients. Like 2-3 weeks, boom, we'll remove it. Another 2-3 weeks, we install this new program. You go practice it, put it into a daily ritual. And like the entire process, imagine you have 30-40 years of feeling like I'm not enough, of all these crappy situations that agree with, and that's capping your earning potential, that's capping your identity of the man or the woman you could be, that sense of fulfillment, that can be ripped away and have the best level of your, success in like less than 2 months. And that's what happened. I actually have serviced some Amazon sellers. I remember there was one guy, I won't name his name, right? But okay, yeah. I think this was end of 2017. Also somebody I met at the Global Sources event, I think. So we've become friends. And then when he came to me, he was literally on the verge of running out of money. He's like, Qing, I'm running out of money. My girlfriend's about to leave me. I got stocks coming, but it's like, I don't know, like this sense of like nervousness every day was just trapping him, right? I said, dude, like, we got to get you out of this fear, anxiety, into, that you feel worthy, you feel powerful, the confidence, what we talked about earlier, Mike. And literally 3 months later, the dude's running like a multi-6-figure business. Like his monthly revenue at multi-6 figures, and then like the relationship was at the best level ever. He literally doubled his revenue, like in in three months. So that's what's possible.
Wow.
And that is so important, because it doesn't come from. Of course, he's implemented some strategy and tactics and all that other things that followed. But the number one thing, Mike, I want you and your listeners to understand is, it comes from within. We're going to align you first so that your programming the programming that's been running you that doesn't serve you, that's been sabotaging you, gets ripped out. We install a new one. And then when that all that garbage is cleared out, then there is no resistance. You can just, it just runs smoothly.
Okay.
That's one example of it. Yeah. I hope that answered your question.
It answers it. I think there's another part maybe. I think that's maybe.
Sure.
I guess the actual part of changing someone's business, or maybe they're realizing they're doing the wrong thing. They're not like in the career path or the life path that they should be.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder, is that something like a overnight thing? Like I just wake up and decide to just change everything, or I think it's probably more realistic to make it a transition, right? Like maybe like at the same time they're changing their mindset and their thinking, like maybe they decide just what they've been doing the last years or longer is not right for them.
Yeah, so that's a really good question. This is exactly what happened to me, because I think around 2017, I just felt like I'm not passionate about selling Amazon. Like I was doing maybe 30 units a day, which is pretty good. I think it was maybe like 20K a month revenue or something like that for the couple of products I was selling. But it just felt like it's not me. Because I did not give a about selling like coffee makers or whatever, right? Like but it's the same process to what I was saying. Is firstly is you have to now start listening to that inner voice inside of you. And I'm not talking about the voice in your head going, you're not good enough, who are you to do this, forget it, it's never going to work out. I'm not talking about that voice, that's the mind. I'm talking about that ability to come from within, that intuition, that spark, that divine spark when you're in flow. I'm talking about that, that feeling in your gut sometimes that comes and you go, yes, this is the thing, right? Have you ever had that moment, Mike, where it's like, yep, this is the thing?
I think, I'm thinking of parts of my life where, you just feel like you're in I don't know if I want to use the word flow state or something, but you feel like this is your natural direction or path or action you should be doing, right?
Yes, that is exactly what we're talking about. The issue, Mike, for most people, and especially right now in the current environment, the reason why people are in limbo is because there is all this uncertainty. And humans, we have been programmed, like we as a species, we were like conditioned over hundreds of thousands of years for survival, right? That's why we want certainty, we want control. And that is why, like, the people right now, like, this is your opportunity, actually. COVID-19 is an opportunity. Like, I'm so excited to talk about this because this is a nice segue to talk about what's next for you guys, right? So COVID-19, I'll tell you guys, there is something called your masculine side versus your feminine side. Even if you're a man, you have a masculine side and a feminine side. And the feminine side is that ability to feel your intuition, to trust your gut. And that is the feminine side that most people, we have all been conditioned to forget. We have all been conditioned to go out for some crazy strategy because some guru told us. And that's when we give up our power, right? But COVID-19, I can tell you, like, even in terms of energy, frequency, I can tell you, like, I get all these messages and I know this is a breaking point in history. This is a breaking point in the history of this planet where people are called to now stop doing things the old way. What do I mean by that? I'll give you some examples. If you know in your heart, there has been a voice in your heart, or this inkling in your heart is like, there is this thing you have got to do, okay? Maybe it is to not do Amazon, but start doing something else. That's your true calling, but you were trapped by this fear. How am I going to do this? Okay, because the question we often ask ourselves is how? When we don't know the how, we don't do it. We're in limbo, we procrastinate, and then what happens is what we are already doing is also going down the toilet. Because why? Because we're trapped in fear. So what happens is COVID-19, instead of seeing it, perceiving it as the, hell just broke loose, or what do I do? Oh my God, instead of doing this freak out, if you can actually live in that emotional home of what we talked about, the higher vibrations of gratitude, of joy, even in spite of everything that's going on, and you know how to condition yourself so that you have that unstoppable self-belief, what happens is the clarity will come and you will hear and trust more and more of that. It's that trusting surrender process. And then as you take some actions and more actions, you start building this credibility with yourself of, oh, I can trust myself, right? This then starts this positive momentum, positive spiral up for you. So for some people, it might happen very quickly, because when you take massive action, like things might happen very quickly. Like I can tell you, 2.5 years ago, when I started my coaching program, it went from 7 years in my head going, how am I going to do it? Because I had all these beliefs of like, who am I to do this? I'm not Tony Robbins, I'm not experienced enough. I don't have enough certifications to do that. Went from 7 years of that going, how do I do it? How do I do it? How do I do it? All these crazy monkey thoughts, right? To launching a beta program, literally having my first group of 10 clients, to them having a massive outcome, like in literally 10 days. It was crazy, the kind of action, the kind of clarity I got just by deciding and living in that emotional home. So the progress, like, to answer your question, the process for everybody, it might be different. Some people might be very quick, some people might be gradual. But the key thing is you have to make a decision today. You have to make a decision, and you have to know the how. Because this is another golden quote from Qing today, okay?
Okay, sure.
So write it down there is the decision comes first, and the how will follow. I'll say that again. The decision comes first, and the how will follow. And because decision means Latin, to cut off in Latin. So first you have to decide, because energetically when you're making a decision, you said, universe, I don't know how, right? You send out this energy thought to the universe with strong intention, with strong love or passion about it, strong conviction about it. Universe, I don't know how, show me the way. Show me the way.
I like it.
Yeah. And then what happens is, and then your subconscious mind is now being put to works to like, okay, let's say, Mike, you have this new thing for this platform, right? Maybe I don't know what's the situation. I'm making things up, but let's say you don't know what's that strategy. How do I take it to the next level? How do I bring all the suppliers or the customers to this platform? You set very strong intention, right? And that intention. This is the other thing about COVID-19. Because COVID-19, the post-COVID-19 age, or even right now, the thing you are doing right now, it cannot be driven by just a desire for money. Let me say that again. And there is nothing wrong for wanting to make money out of it. Don't get me wrong. It's perfectly okay for you to get paid in lieu of the value you provide to the world. That's perfectly fine. But what I'm saying is you have to be doing something not out of fear, not because you have to make money, but it has to come from a passion and a calling out of your soul, out of your heart. Right? So it's like that calling is so important that you can't not do it. So for example, maybe your platform is like, because I want to, eliminate inefficiencies in the process. I want to help more suppliers or PPE, like the medical, whatever, right now in light of this. That could be your why, right? So what I'm saying is, in the COVID-19, people have to be following their hearts, not following their ego or the head of like, yeah, I want to get to 7 figures because I want to buy my next mansion. No, it comes from your heart because of this passion. And when you come from this passion, what happens is your subconscious is also going to be lit up. Your mindset, your psyche is going to be lit up because you're literally feeding on fire. This clarity is going to come and you're going to jump out of bed every day with that purpose. Even if you're like, I don't know the how yet, but wow, I'm so excited. I'm like a kid again. Like I feel that passion ignited inside of me when I first started this business or when I first started this entrepreneurship journey. Like you feel alive again. And then what happens is your emotional home, you're going to start elevating from maybe you were in apathy before. Maybe you were almost feeling a bit depressed before because you don't know the how. But now you're elevating yourself through that consciousness map from from apathy to fear to anger to like neutral to then, a bit more happy to more confidence to joyful. Like you're finding this positive momentum spiral, because when you're sitting duck, right, the energy is stagnant. When you're in this fear, when you're looping these thoughts over and over about how am I going to do it? Oh my God, shit's going to go to the head fan. I'm going to go out of business. All my stuff is going to be, I'm going to go onto the street. I'm going to be homeless. Look, when you're living in that fear, the energy is stagnant. You're just going to go around in circles. But what you truly got to do is first make a decision, and then send out the intentions to the universe or to whoever you pray to, right? Have this faith is like, show me the way. And then the third part of what I want to talk about, Mike, is this.
Okay.
I think there's two ways people can do it. And this comes honestly from my heart, right? It literally took me 6-7 years, and I spent probably $200,000 US on all these different coaches or mentors, retreats, therapists, like all these things. There's two ways you can do it. Right now, we have a lot of information out there on YouTube. If you just go Google, law of attraction or subconscious beliefs, or you probably get a ton of videos and all these things. All of these are great. They're sound bites, they're bites of information. Even this episode is bite of information. Those are for information, right? You can consume it. It'll probably start making marginal changes if you even do what I talked about today. But then there's a fast way, which is for people who are very driven, like myself, right? Like where I'm just like, I'm at this point, I was at this point where like, I'm just sick and tired of feeling stuck, of going around in loops or feeling like I am worthy of so much more, but I don't know what's stopping me. Talk to somebody who knows what the F is going on, who can help you, because information only gets you so far. What you truly need is transformation. What you truly need is transformation of, whether it's a mentor, it doesn't have to be me. It could be somebody else out there. But what I'm saying is you guys got to decide. Once you decide, go talk to somebody who knows what they're doing so that they can get you on that rocket path. Because the way I look at it is if you try to figure things out on your own, the biggest cost in your business, this is another writer downer, another golden quote from Qing today. Okay, so another one is the biggest cost in your business is the money you're leaving on the table because you're trying to figure things out on your own. I'll say that again, right? So the biggest cost in your business is the money you're leaving on the table every month because you're trying to figure things out on your own. Okay, most people think it's just a strategy, it's the tactic, it's the newest marketing. Maybe it's like Facebook Messenger to sell chatbots to sell more reviews, like whatever it is. Maybe people think it's the strategy, but I can tell you, if you don't get to the bottom of your subconscious beliefs, nothing else will work. It might work initially for a little bit, but your psyche will have a freak out, and it's never going to be able to hold that level of money, this multi 6 or 7 or 8 figure or even 9 figures that you want, because it's just going to have a freak out. That's why what you got to do is find somebody or a system or a path that can get you to how do you hold that level of belief and programming? How do you install that new program so that you can get to that level? So that whatever you're doing then, like the tactics or the strategies, the system, the processes, they can work in your favor so that you don't self-sabotage. That's, I think what people got to do. That's not a pogo stick, but that's like a private jet where they just want to get onto the fast path. Yeah.
This is great. Okay. I mean, I really personally been benefiting from this. So thank you so much, Qing, for this. And I think maybe we can get you on again for a second part in the future. But for now, I think we kind of got to start to wrap up a little bit. But I always try to say, like, what's one action point? I mean, I have a few even myself, but, for listeners now and they're in this COVID-19, or maybe it's even after this pandemic is past us, what is, I think I can make some guesses from what I've learned from your talk, but what are some action points they should do, like, immediately?
Okay. So the first thing, what I talked about is the emotional home. Like really have a checking, like instead of, the one thing I would talk about is the news, okay? Is like not paying attention to negative stuff, because I want you guys to understand everything is programming, everything is information. every time you listen to a news or a feed or looking at how many deaths or how many people diagnosed, confirmed COVID or all these negative news, you're yet again programming yourself for fear and anxiety. So the first thing I would do is actually do a detox of that. If you must keep track because you're in that business or you're in something where you have to get on top of the news, keep it to a small amount of time. Because the way I want you to start seeing yourself is you are a blank canvas, right? You are a blank canvas and you only let in information or let in people or let in frequency that pushes you up, not down. So for anybody who, and this is the common thing I see among women, I don't know if men have as much, but like with givers, like with doormats, just keep on giving information, giving value to other people. And we're going, wait, where is my share? Like it's not reciprocating. So if there are people, energy vampires in your life, energy vampires who just take away, take, they're always takers, you have to decide that you're worthy enough to cut them out. So that's the second thing, right?
Okay.
The third thing is like start living your emotional home of gratitude. Like how do you do that? Pay attention to stuff you're grateful for. Maybe have a journal, start writing about gratitude.
Okay.
Those are big things. Fourth one is what I talked about earlier, the pogo stick versus the private jet. Like I think even what I just talked about, those three things, if you guys do it, it'll be massive increases. But if people want some more clarity, they want to talk to somebody who may be able to, or maybe they just want to pinpoint what is it exactly that's stopping you in whatever it is in your business. Like I'm happy to serve. I'm happy. So what I do is I do these complimentary clarity calls. They're 60 minutes. People can book a call with me. Like there's no charge for it. We'll help you get clarity. We'll help you get a step-by-step strategy plan in terms of how do you actually get from where you are to the outcome that you want, whether it is a 8-figure exit in your Amazon business or you just want more cash flow, whatever it is, having that true clarity and the energy. So those will be my CTAs for this episode. Yeah.
Okay. This is great.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah. And then so one final thing is if people want to book that call, the link is www.divinewealthschool.com/apply. So Divine, so DIVINE,
Yep.
Wealth, WEALTH, school, SCHOOL.com/apply. That's it.
Okay, /apply. Okay, we'll put it in the show notes too. This has
Awesome.
been great, QI. Thank you, really. And
Pleasure to serve.
it's perfect
Very
timing
happy to
too
be
for
here.
all these people. I know a lot of people are reflecting on everything and under a lot of stress. So thanks again for sharing.
Yeah, it's actually the perfect opportunity because the quarantine, we get to be with ourselves and check in, right? It's perfect for that.
It is
so
a good
thank you
time.
for the opportunity, Mike. And thank you for what you're doing for your tribe.
Yeah, I'm trying my
it's great.
best.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Qing.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to this show. If you enjoy and you want to engage with me and others in our cool power community, we just had our monthly mastermind call. And it was amazing. I shared openly about what I'm working on. I try to give opportunities that I can't share openly in this podcast to people. We have our 3 or 4, 5, 6, I don't know, depends what you count as courses, but I have so much online content, basically sharing everything from internet marketing to Amazon stuff I've done to the mindsets of businesses and productivity. You can all get that at gfavip.com. It definitely supports continuing this show. We're past 300 shows, and if you want to give back and can engage with some of the players in this community, it would be a great place to consider applying, and we will review your application. Thank you. Thank you so much, Qing, for sharing so openly with your work at divinewealthschool.com. Definitely take her up on that offer. Like I said in my intro, I am her student now. I can't believe that. I don't know. I think I'm a quote unquote masculine male person that thinks this stuff is maybe that's why I needed it. But like I said in the intro, I got a little bit emotional. But let's first hear this BBC. I promised you could hear the third clip of the BBC. I recorded it. I'll give you guys a little bit of update what I shared with BBC Radio Live in the UK earlier last week. And then we'll talk about my session, and then we will put in what she recorded for me, which she might not expect others to hear. So let's go to BBC next. Okay.
If you're listening to Newsday back in February, you'll recall husband and wife Wendy and Michael Michelini. Wendy was stuck in quarantine in China with their 2 children and a sister, alongside her mother, who was in the middle of cancer treatment, as well as her father, who has heart issues. Michael was in Manila for a time. Now, at the end of March, I spoke to Michael, you may recall, and he'd made it back to China on one of the last flights out of Manila, and he was put in quarantine in Shenyang. Well, Michael has now completed his quarantine, and he's been released, and he joins us on the line from Shenyang. What's the feeling, Michael?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a little bit chilly here compared to Manila still, even in April, but it's been about a week now out of quarantine, and readjusting it's been very, very strange, I guess, to be honest. Just
Yeah, so where are we speaking to you from? Where are you at the moment?
I'm in my in-laws' house in a spare room I'm using as a makeshift office.
Right. And I know, what was it like seeing your family again? Or have you seen them yet?
Yeah, I saw them. I got out Monday night, last Monday, so about exactly a week now. And my wife picked me up with some of our other distant relatives, and I got my paperwork, some certificate with the formal stamp of approval that I passed my 14 days, so I could present that to the building management or others that might need it or ask for it. And we drove together to my in-laws, where as we mentioned, my mother-in-law and father-in-law and my 2 children, Miles and Maggie, were here. And the funny thing was they tried to embrace me right away, but I was quickly pushed into a shower, and all my clothes were changed, and there was sanitizer and spray. It was like a whole coordinated effort of everyone in the household taking different parts of my clothes and bags and making sure I'm decontaminated before I could embrace my children. So it was a really weird feeling, but it felt great, of course, to finally get out of the shower and fresh clothes and see my children and my wife's family.
I know you have been very concerned. In our last conversation, we talked about the fact that your mother-in-law has been battling cancer for a while now.
Yes.
And your father-in-law also has heart issues. How are they doing?
They've been improving. It's it was my aunt's birthday yesterday, and we also had a delayed birthday cake for me when I got out of quarantine, and they're much healthier. It seems they've been able to go to the hospital, get their different checkups as well. So they seem much better even when I saw them in January, last early January, when I was last here.
And the reaction of the family, paint it for me, especially the kids. They must be very happy to see their father back.
Yeah, of course. It's been a lot of these video calls through WeChat, but of course nothing the same as in person. And they've been constantly, like, when I get out of my work environments and to the family environment, they're very happy to play with me. I'm also the one with the English videos on my phone and English books they get to read that they like, and so they look to me for those things they haven't had in quite a long time. So it's been really, really great.
Have you had a moment to think about what sort of impact the isolation has had on you?
It's back just finally getting a little bit better, but last week I was having definitely some disturbing nights of sleep. Just wondering, I didn't know if I'll come back to this part of China. I mean, the plan was we would get all back together soon, but still just not sure our future. Do we, we're in the in-laws. They're very kind to let us stay here, but how long do we plan to stay here? Or, now that I'm out, almost it's made me more nervous, because I just don't know what's next for the family and the life, but it's definitely been readjusting still. But last week was especially a little bit stressful for me, just especially at night. The mind is thinking a lot, so it's very nerve-wracking.
So do you have a sense of where you're going next? I know you just said that you're still struggling to figure that out, but what happens next?
The original plan was we had been in Thailand for a year and a half in Chiang Mai for our children's. They have really good international schools with English and Thai and Chinese language. But I just heard somebody, they said Thailand is under, as everywhere, is under lockdown, and a lot of things the economics are really not looking good. And the plan was to go back there in the summer. That's the original plan. But we both have a feeling, my wife and I talked yesterday, we don't think we'll be going back there. I've started to...
Will you be going to the States? The Americans want their citizens to return.
I know, that's the other stressful thing. I have a lot of my friends saying that, but for me, I mean, I have to put my children and wife first, and my wife wouldn't be willing to leave her parents and other relatives here. But yeah, I had a call for Easter with my parents, and they're also on lockdown. They had to miss. They're really shocked. They had to miss their church. But yeah, it was really. I feel like we'll be here for a while.
Okay, Michael, really good to talk to you. Thank you for keeping us updated, and we wish you the very best for the future.
Thank you.
Cheers, thank you very much, Michael.
Okay, thank you for having me. All right, cool. So I hope BBC even lets me republish this stuff, but I record it on my phone. I learned that from Tim Ferriss. If you're going to be on these media sites, you should record it just to back yourself up even, or just, of course, document it. That's what I'm all about, or learning from the god, Tim Ferriss. But... all right, so I said I would share. It's a 13-minute audio clip of her work. For me, one of her deliverables is as a coach of me, and I'm a student. We're all students in one way or another. So like I said, I cried when I heard this the first time. I'm listening to this 2 times a day, and I also have this on repeat when I sleep. So it's still only been a week since I started this, like literally podcast interviews have just been weak. I got a couple weeks in buffer, but I don't know. I was, maybe I'm crazy or stupid to share this, but this would be something I guess she would make for you guys if you used her service. It was after a 2-hour. I've been talking to her a lot, so we had a 1-hour podcast, a 1-hour call, then we had a 2-hour session, then she made this. It was in the last couple of weeks, but it's already kind of gotten rid of some emotional baggage. It doesn't reveal, I don't think, too much of what I said. It's just her results of how to help me, but I think I'm just too hard on myself. Maybe it's the Gary V hustle and the grind of, don't sleep, work, get more stuff done. I think she's trying to unwind me and be more nice to myself. I got to take care of myself more is, I think, the whole theme of what she's helping me do. So I hope you guys enjoy, or you could just skip this if you think it's too weird. Just doing it for you guys and to document. I love to document everything, and I might, when I die, hopefully can help some other people, and hopefully when you're listening to this, maybe it can help. Hopefully it can help you. It's not just for me. I think this can help a lot of people, but it's kind of about taking care of yourself and being easier on yourself. I mean, we all gotta achieve a lot and do a lot, but we gotta step back and breathe and take care of what we're doing with our life. So enjoy what she has made for me.
So right now, Mike, you are sitting comfortably or lying down with your feet either firmly planted on the ground and uncross your legs. As you take a deep breath in, you are relaxing your face, relax your neck, relax your shoulders, relax your chest, and as you take a deep breath in through your nostrils, you can feel the air coming in all the way into the pit of your stomach. You can feel this deep breathing into your belly, and you completely relax. Maybe even wriggle your toes a bit. And both of your eyes, you are looking as far back into the back of your head as possible. You're rolling your eyes back as far back as possible, feeling your eyelids aflutter. And as you take one more deep breath in, you close your eyelids and you glue shut, seal shut your eyes, and you can't even open them. Even if you try to, it's like they have been sealed with super glue. As you take another deep breath in, you can see or imagine a flight of 10 stairs descending in front of you. You're walking, drifting down stairs number 10 and 9. As you take one more deep breath in, you can feel all your nerves, muscles and tissues expanding, loosening. As you walk downstairs number 8 and 7. You can feel the gentle sun on your face. You can feel the gentle breeze in your hair. Everything feels so cozy and relaxing as you walk downstairs number 6 and 5. You can see, hear, or even feel your footsteps landing on stairs number 4 and 3. And with every sound that you hear, you use it to going deeper and deeper into hypnosis. You're going deeper and deeper into hypnosis as you now land on stairs number 2 and 1. Mike, today is the day that you realize you are worthy. You are worthy of this feeling that you wake up every day feeling in your body, in your mind, this deep sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. When you wake up next to Wendy, when you wake up with your kids, you feel so happy. Things run smoothly. You love sitting with your cup of pu'er tea in this open creative space, looking at the trees, listening to the water, doing your writing, your journaling. You feel this lightness, this joy in your heart, this joy bursting out of your heart as you feel so happy, creating what you love, the content that makes a big impact on other people's lives. You know, as you sit there in this open space at this big table, recording, writing, that you know today is a happy day because you're so happy. You're absolutely proud of the work that you do. You are proud of your team who is smart and learning every day. You feel this sense of power and energy and purpose in your body and your mind, your psyche. Every day from the moment you wake up, Mike, you feel this magnificent gratitude. Before you even open your eyes, as you lay in bed with your eyes still closed, you put both of your hands on your heart and you think of the people you love the most in the world. You see Wendy's face. You see Miles and Maggie's face. You see all these other people's faces and you feel to your heart, thank you, thank you, thank you for all this love and support in my life. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this wealth and abundance of joy and love and ease in my life. Because I am in tune with the universe. I am in tune with the energy that wants to endow me with everything I deserve. So every day, Mike, as you brush your hair, brush your teeth, wash your face, standing in front of the mirror, even on the toilet, you say to yourself, I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. Every day when you go about your day, whether it is boiling the kettle for the pu'er tea or journaling at the back of your mind, you say to yourself, I am powerful. I am powerful. I am powerful. And you feel so relaxed, so relieved in your body. There is this deep sense of ease and peace in your entire way of being. You have this knowing that everything is going to work out. So you feel your entire body, your solar plexus, which is where your stomach is, there's this sense of lightness, there's this weightlessness. And you can almost walking around town and seeing your solar plexus, your stomach is just golden yellow light. And that is where the sense of worthiness comes from, because you make yourself feel good every day. You tell yourself every day, Mike, I choose how I feel. I choose how I feel, and I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. I love myself enough to choose only worthy people who deserve my time. I only choose opportunities that deserve my attention because I am worthy, I am deserving. So whether it is the book deals, mandates that are now coming out of the woodworks, or investors who want to invest in Lloyd Pipe, Mike, you have that level of discernment and that level of detachment, because you know in your heart, in every single fiber of your being, in every single cell at the cellular level, Mike, you know that you are worthy and you bring to the table everything that person wants. That is exactly why you only attracting opportunities and investors or partners who deserve you. And your kidneys are shiny and light and happy because they're bursting with confidence and joy every day. So every day, Mike, when you go check your emails, communications, or discussing with publishers about several book deals, you feel this sense of calm awash over your body. It's almost like you're going for your favorite shower or favorite spa treatment. You feel this sense of ease, this sense of happiness, fulfillment coming over you. And all you do is you just surrender everything. You surrender any thoughts, any feelings that don't serve you. You just surrender it to the universe and you tell yourself, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. And it always works out. It always works out. It always works out. So when you're spending time with Wendy and Miles and Maggie, they can see that happiness in you. They can see that massive shift to transformation, this glow in your face, this sense of confidence and poise in you, Mike, that they're so happy for you as well. And your customers, Mike, they're sending you raving reviews left, right, and center in your emails, in your WeChat messages, on your website, so much so that people are now coming out of the woodworks to give you more deals, to give you more orders, so that you only choose who you want to serve. You only choose and you only attract and draw in the opportunities, the income that deserve you. So when you look at your bank account, Mike, you feel so much ease and calm because you know all your overheads, your insurance, the school fees, the living expenses, or even any money you want to give to Wendy or your kids, you've got it covered. So you talk to yourself every day, Mike. You say, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, because I am absolutely worthy. I am absolutely worthy. I am absolutely worthy. So you protect your boundaries, Mike, every day you protect your boundaries on your time, on your attention, and while you may still choose to help people, but only the people who deserve you. So deep inside, Mike, you take time to praise yourself every day. You praise yourself, you acknowledge yourself, you say, I am worthy. You're doing a great job, Mike. You're doing a great job, Mike. You're doing a great job, Mike. And every day, Mike, as you go about working or you take a break or even as you have lunch or dinner, you take time to put hands on your heart and just connect to that little boy inside of you. And you tell him, I am a loving parent to you from now on. I take care of you. I love you unconditionally, and I take care of your emotional needs. Whatever you want to release or express, you can tell me. Because I give myself permission to feel my emotions and process them and release them. I give myself permission to release my emotions, to feel how I want to feel, and express any true thoughts I have, starting right now.
To get more info about running an international business, please visit our website at www.globalfromasia.com. That's www.globalfromasia.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our iTunes feed. Thanks for tuning in.